Hey everyone, welcome back to the studio, and today I'm here with a brand new video for you guys. So, I am starting a little mini series that will last throughout this week. You can call it a 5 episode event, and I know that's similar to what Riverdale is doing for season 6. But what I thought I would do is do a Riverdale season 5 in review, and I have 5 different categories that will go across 5 different days. And I'm just going to review how I think Riverdale season 5 did in general, and what I liked about it, what I disliked about it. And yeah, I have 5 different topics picked out, so each day will be a new topic, and that's just kind of going to be this week. I was thinking about what to do for this week because it's a special week, because on Friday I celebrate 4 years on my channel. So I thought I would do something special, and this is kind of what I decided. So yeah, I'm going to be doing Riverdale season 5 in review. So today's episode is going to be about screen time for the characters, like which characters got good screen time, which characters got good storyline. So I'm going to be mainly reviewing the characters and how they did with all of them. So, Archie Andrews. So they started off the season with him coming back to town with a goal to, get the town up and running again. He was working with Tony, and him and Betty were sharing a lot of scenes. I think the beginning of it, the first half of the season, looked really good for Archie. However, once he went back to Veronica, things changed for him. I think he just, when he was being a football coach, he just wasn't that interesting. I really think Archie's more interesting when he's in control. But when he's with Veronica, she's in control. And I feel like that's a main issue in their relationship. But what I liked about the beginning of the season is how Archie was so in control, and he had this goal to get the town up and running again. And working with Betty and Tony really got him, and Kevin, it really got him motivated again to come in and take care of the town. The second half of the season was tough for Archie, though, because he had all this trauma from the war that lasted several episodes. And I'm glad it ended. And it was kind of rough to get through, because I was kind of bored by his story for those few episodes that they were really dealing with this trauma. And I mean, I think Cage Appa did a good job with it. It just was the most entertaining storyline for me. But I think by the end of the season, Archie is in a better place, and I like that for him. So now that he's with Betty and not with Veronica, I think he's looking for, I think his goal, and I think what will happen is that he'll, become a better person. Hopefully he won't die, though. Going over to Betty, her storyline this season, I mean, I'm not a big fan of, the Lonely Highway mystery. That didn't go well with me. I thought her storyline was one of the better ones this season, though. I didn't like the story, The Lonely Highway. However, I feel like the actress did a great job in just showing it's not okay what she's doing, and she's trying to decide, is it really worth going out on the highway to, try to save her sister. And I think Lily Reinhardt did a great job of showing that struggle. So I think Betty really matured and showed growth this season, and I really liked that for her. And when I thought she was with Archie, she really shined. I really liked that. And when she was with Tabitha, she really shined. And I think Betty overall, I liked Archie and Betty this season. I think they were good. I liked them. I like them together, and I like their individual arcs. Hopefully she won't die too. Veronica. Now, Veronica I struggled with, because, we came off with her married and in a toxic relationship with Chad, and then the beginning of the season showed hope in her still being able to regain that power. However, ever since she got back together with Archie and was fighting with Chad, that really just showed that she doesn't, that power, she's not using it, but she has the ability to use it. And I think that's the problem with her character, is how she doesn't use her power in the right way. And I just think that's the struggle there with her character. And by the end of the season, I mean, I really liked her and Reggie. I think if she wasn't interacting with Reggie I would not want to watch her scenes at all. But when she was with Reggie, I thought her scenes were really good. When she was with Archie, it was tough too. But I just really think that when her storyline does not revolve around a man, they can give her way better stuff. And I'm hoping in the future that that's what they're going to do with her character, because I feel like if they don't, then it's not going to be pretty. But I feel like with her and Reggie, I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be together for a while. So that's kind of my thing for Veronica. Wasn't a big fan. Hopefully it'll become better. Okay, so Jughead. So I liked his overall. There are parts that really bothered me about his storyline just because of how he was my favorite pre-time jump, and I think he's still my favorite post-time jump. Um, but I feel like it took so long for him to get to a certain point. And I thought him going missing wasn't necessary again. But I think it showed how he wanted to get better and how he wanted to get better relationships with people and to try to repair his relationships in the town. And I liked how he had to choose between his writing and his friends. I think that's a really big struggle. And we really didn't see that pre-time jump, and I think seeing it now worked. And overall, I thought he had a great storyline, but again, I struggled with it at some point. The Mothman mystery, I kind of liked that. It was cool, and I really liked his scenes with Tabitha too. I think that really shined for his character, and it made him more likable once we got past the rough stages of the alcoholism and everything. Okay, so Cheryl. Now, I think Cheryl probably had the worst story out of all the characters, to be honest. I mean, I know people like the witch stuff, but it really just didn't do anything for me. It's weird. Maybe if I watched Sabrina and I was a big fan, then maybe I would be. But her witch stuff just isn't doing it for me. As far as her other stuff, I really feel like they didn't give Cheryl much this season. Like she was really like they didn't give her much. Like all we really saw of her was when she was with Tony earlier on, and she was trying to get her out of the house, and Cheryl was struggling with that. And I thought that was more interesting than her ministry. The ministry just didn't do anything for me. Like, it was just weird. Like, yeah, I didn't like it. It was strange. It gave me weird vibes. And I didn't see her develop and grow from, because Tony called her out on a lot of this stuff. She called her out for being selfish and manipulative, but she didn't grow from that is the problem. Like, she could have grown. Like, she could have had honest conversation with her mom and become a better person. And I thought that's where they were going with her and Kevin, but no, they just made it weird, and they made it into this ministry plotline that just really didn't make much sense. So no, I just didn't really like Cheryl this season. Didn't really do much for me. Kevin didn't do much for me either. They really just didn't write him good. They tried to give him more screen time, they did, but his storyline still revolved around him finding his identity, and that should have happened a long time ago. I mean, I don't want to say this because, I mean, it's kind of mean and rude to the actor, but I don't think Kevin should be on the show anymore. Like, I think he really should move on, and he expresses interest in giving Broadway another try. So I wonder, is Kevin leaving? I thought I saw him in behind the scenes for season 6. I don't think he's leaving, but you never know. He could be gone. I mean, he could be leaving. I hope not, but you never know. So that's kind of the thing for Kevin. They really just, and putting him with Cheryl just didn't do much for me either. I just want to see Kevin do something, and they're really not giving him anything besides his whole relationships. And yeah, I don't know. They just don't. I don't know, just something about Kevin, they just don't do him well, and I think this season really showed that he deserves better. So, yeah. Okay. What else? Okay, so Tony was really good this season. Even though she was gone for a good chunk of it, I thought when she came back and her sharing scenes with Archie really did justice for her character, and sharing less scenes with Cheryl, too, really did good for her. And then when she came back and partnered up with Tabitha and, did her whole storyline with Britta, I think it really worked for her. Wasn't a big fan of the whole thing with Fangs, but we'll talk about Fangs in a second. But I thought Tony really did a good job, and I think I'm really glad that they put her in more scenes and more storylines. I know that Vanessa Morgan wanted that, and they gave it to her, and I think they did a really good job at giving Tony the screen time she deserves, because she's a very interesting character, and I like how she's gonna, revive the Serpents. Fangs wasn't my favorite, I guess. I mean, he really didn't have much. I don't know what they were trying to do with his character. I mean, they gave him the thing with Tony at the end of the season, and I guess that's going to be what carries into the next season. But besides that, we just saw his struggles with Kevin, and we saw him helping Archie out a little bit, but we really didn't see much from Fangs. I want more from him. I think we're going to get that in the future. Tabitha was such a blessing. She was probably one of my favorite characters of the season. Her relationship with Betty and Jughead and helping out Veronica and Tony, and I think we needed a fresh new face. I think she had great goals. I wanted to see more from her franchising Pops, but it's fine. But Tabitha, I think, might be my favorite character this season. I mean, they really did a good idea of bringing her in because I think we needed a fresh face like her. Overall, Tabitha and Betty were my favorites, and my least favorites were Cheryl and Kevin. I also like Tony too. I mean, I think this season overall, character wise, they gave characters more stuff, and I think that worked for it. They gave characters more interesting storylines and growth. So I'm gonna get off of here. Stay tuned for tomorrow for a new episode. Thanks everyone for watching with the studio, and bye everyone.